are just too short to box with God. Hold one. Andre. Yes! From out of nowhere. Hold two. Armbar.
Who are you to doubt El Dandy?
Still got 200 more.
This is Robbie Eagles.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
Hi, this is Mimic. This is 5 times the world's heavyweight champion, the Scrap Daddy himself, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
This is Brian Alvarez, and you are listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Armour, and thanks very much for downloading Wrestle Radio Australia. This is our first episode.
Oh, yeah! G'day, this is Big Brody Marshall.
This is Brian Alvarez.
This is Dean Brady of the Millennials.
This is the Jurassic Punk Sid Parker.
How many of you guys have heard the term kayfabe?
Hello, doggers. This is Jay Hunter from OSW Review.
This is Matt Grim Basso.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
This is Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and you are locked in
to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Game, I in the game, I'm champion, I'm Triple H, Undertaker, I'm your maker, bury the brother like Kane. Ooh, 1-3, hit the tombstone, hit the choke slam on face. Ooh, yeah, like a macho heel, turn like a muscle. If you suffer like tomatoes, I'ma keep a couple models. Ooh, and you may call me HBK. When I'm tuning up the vein, you best be getting in my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm degenerate, I love it, yes, I love it. If you ain't down with that, then I got two words for you, suck it. Too sweet, put your fangs up. Too sweet, hold another drug. Let's be busy, 23, got me feeling way too sweet.
I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. Put a square peg in a round hole, just never seems to fit. And you...
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch.
It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Hello and welcome to Making Chicken Salad, the Wrestle Radio Australia show where we talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. My name is Lachlan Albert, and I am joined, as always, by the man behind Wrestle Radio Australia, the best manager ever, Todd Eastman. Todd, always good to see you, mate.
Good to see you, my friend. Backing up. I'm doing a double tonight.
I know, you're working hard, my man. And back in action once again is the man behind WrestleBrania, Jeff Setti. Jeff, always good to have you, brother.
Always great to have you. Just shout out to my boy Welch. You get better, brother. I hope you're doing all right. I have been sending him a bunch of messages, and you know, it's not just the physical injury; it's the mental stuff as well. Because like Welch is quite an active bloke. He's out and about, and he plays some golf and stuff like that. And
yeah, he messaged me this week asking me how he can block you, but without you knowing he's blocked you. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, just make sure that you can't see the.
Yeah,
but
also, I have to know Jamie Apps is not on the show tonight because he's serving a 1-week suspension because we take gimmick infringement seriously.
Yeah, that's right. So hopefully Jamie will be back next week and know his place. Coming at it this week, though.
I'm lost.
Okay, just to catch you up quickly, Jeff.
Here we go, yeah. We can play the video.
He was on the commentary booth. Have I deleted the video already? No, I haven't.
You have.
He was on the commentary booth with... No, I haven't deleted... No.
Yeah, no,
he was on the commentary booth with his partner, and he said something on that show. And I'll just play it for you quickly. The people that saw this last week will know what I'm talking about, but just to catch you up. It only goes for 17 seconds. So
I never thought listening to Jamie Moore would actually be a necessary sentence to escape anyone.
To be fair, that's advice everyone should take. Listen to Jamie Moore.
I don't advise.
He said the thing that you say. He said the thing, your thing.
Yeah.
That's your thing. I'm the funny one. Lachlan's the ringer, and you're the guy we should listen to more.
That's right. And he went and tried to take it.
He don't. No.
Banhammer.
Yeah.
Swift.
Oh.
It's the same deal, Jeff. If you show up in a red wig, you're out of here. You know?
Mate, I'm not showing up in any wigs. I mean, come on.
Oh, man. But, like, to take it back to wrestling for a second, it is so, like, obviously, gimmick infringement aside, Australian wrestling is in such a good place right now. And to take people a bit behind the scenes, we're talking about what we're going to be watching next weekend for the podcast. And there is so many options going around right now. Wrestling is coming in from every direction at the moment. It's fantastic.
I mean, next week will almost certainly be a double. It just, we don't know what two we're going to wind up doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. Like, do we do the double because we're heading into like the biggest weekend in like wrestling for Australia this coming week, not this weekend, but the next weekend with like WWE hitting town and then all the matches, all the shows and all that surrounding that as well.
Whether
not just in Perth, but also in Melbourne.
To say nothing of one of the cornerstones of Australian wrestling, one of the tent poles, the flagships, one of the main men is calling it a day.
Mm.
We should do some content about that. Like, we should have something about Davis Storm's retirement. Todd, what do you think about that?
Yeah, probably. I'll look around it.
Okay.
I was like,
what do you reckon, Monday?
Don't we? But then, I was like, we already know about that. But then I was like, oh shit, I didn't put that on the actual
on the run sheet.
No, I didn't. Not put it on the run sheet. I didn't put it on like any of the Wrestle Radio socials. I just put it on my own personal socials. About it.
So here we go. Here's where you're finding out. If you're joining us here at twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia, then you're the first to find out that on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, you will have the Wrestle Radio Australia Thank You Davis Storm interview, where Todd catches up with the man of the hour, Davis Storm, to talk about his career in wrestling in Perth and what it's going to be like calling it a day at Willardin Stadium at This Is Our House, coming up very soon. So very exciting stuff there.
Yeah, just like as a thing too, something a little different from normal interviews where you just sit down and like, especially for me, Lachlan knows this. I prepare zero going into interviews. I just walk in there and just to start having a chat. Because this was Davis and it's like potentially his last interview as an active wrestler, I wanted to do something special. So I went through like archives of photos and found all photos from his career. And so I put the photos up and I say, like, tell me about this photo, mate. Tell me about who was this guy here. And we go through that. So it was and I messaged him afterwards and said this to me, that the interview that we recorded is probably one that I'm going to look back of in like 10, 20 years and be like, that's something I'm really proud of, the way it came together and the way it played out.
Sure. I've got more to say about this later.
Yeah.
So we'll hold on to that, but make sure that you subscribe to Wrestle Radio Australia because that's going live on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time this coming Monday, ahead of everything that's going on October 12th. This Is Our House at Willardin Stadium. And we'll have more to talk about with that later. But on something a little less serious, a little less real, maybe a little bit of musical action, hey? Because RCW this past week have put up Matt Hayter the Musical, their most recent Mean Street Mayhem show, which was a little bit crazy, a little bit chaotic, a little bit fun and goofy. And so we're going to talk about it. And if you want to find it, guess what? It's free on YouTube. You can head on over to YouTube, search for Riot City Wrestling, or search for Matt Hayter the Musical, or search for Main Street Mayhem. Or you can head to the description of this podcast and click the link, and you can get to the video from there. There's so many ways to access RCW's Matt Hayter the Musical for free on YouTube. It's so easy to get to free on YouTube.
Shut up.
Got the magic 3.
Very early for a lock style. It really is.
I know.
Isn't it?
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels tonight. But that's not a musical. There were a number of musicals referenced in this show, though, with Jimmy C in the hat and tails presenting as the MC to give it a bit of a different flavor. This one kicking off with Hugh Beauty and Katie Trey in the lead-up to Hugh Beauty challenging Sigma for the Emerald Crown. Katie Trey having SWAT 1 and SWAT 2 in his corner. And I thought that this was a great way to show off Hugh Beauty, as, like we said last week, seeing Hugh Beauty win in that series against James Gray. See Hugh Beauty as a wrestler.
Say hi to Atlantis for me, Lachlan. You are
Take it away, Todd.
Yeah. Okay, my friend. They open the show again. Hugh Beauty is the number one contender to Sigma's Emerald Crown. So this was very much Katie's become that guy who is the heel that gets the babyface ready for the big heel, and he plays the role so well. I think it's one of those things that you go into a Katie Trey match and you're not really going to pick it apart because there's not too much to pick apart with it. He just does what he's supposed to do in whatever position he's put in. That to me is probably the biggest compliment you can give a professional wrestler. Jeff, what did you think?
For sure. And Hugh Beauty has improved out of all sides from when I first saw him around 18 months ago. Anything specific you want to say about the match outside of the participants there, Todd?
No, I just think that like I said, I think it was perfectly executed to put Hugh in that position where he's obviously going to be the underdog going in against someone like Sigma, but he's got a puncher's chance because I also Katie Trey.
I also think it's such a great opener to a show like this because they are kind of silly, goofy characters. So when you've got people like Katie and Hugh, if you're coming to your first wrestling show and it's this Mean Street Mayhem musical thing, it's really easy to see, okay, there's an Aussie cricketer who's the good guy, and there's the guy who's coming out with SWAT to protect him, and he's the bad guy. And they're going to do, that silly character stuff, but they're also going to put on a good, solid, in-the-ropes wrestling match. And I think that's a really great way to open this show.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, look, I really enjoy this. I think they're two such well-defined characters that, and as I said, Hugh has improved out of all sight. I'm looking forward to his match with Sigma quite a bit. And Katie Trey is a character who loses nothing whenever his shoulders are pinned to the mat. He's just got that untouchable kind of ability about him because all he has to do is pick up the mic and do some fantastic mic work, and the crowd hate him again. The crowd are just all over him. I think he is one of my favorite current workers because he's just not afraid to look like a goose the entire time. And there's something beautiful about a wrestler who isn't afraid to look like a complete shitbag because he wants to be hated intensely.
Yeah.
And it's that old thing that someone once said to me that if you go out there and I'm sure you'll agree when you were a heel, Todd, when you go out there and there's that one person you are really cranky with that person applauding you. Yeah, you love everyone else booing you, but it's that one person, and it's the same here with Katie. Katie will get booed to hell, and he's great. I thought a great match.
I actually made the mistake on the weekend because we went to UPW. We worked at UPW. And we're heels at UPW. And without even thinking, I just gave someone a fist bump, and the crowd went, fuck. After I did it. So I'm not supposed to do that now. So, Macho Man Andy Savage said, why do referees keep giving opponents out after the Hughes house out spot? It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what, though? If you watch cricket, I'm just happy a referee will make a call and not
Also,
we didn't have to wait for 16 replays. I'm fine with that.
Also, it's wrestling. It's supposed to be a bit silly. I know that's not something that people say, but it's the Hugh Beauty character is silly. And it's
as much as it doesn't make sense that the referees are calling it out, it also doesn't make sense that a man was named Hugh Beauty and became a cricket playing wrestler. If you're a wrestler, why are you also a cricket player? That doesn't make sense either.
But I had a friend at school, her last name was Bourne, and her parents called her Melanie. It doesn't make sense.
And what city did she live in?
We lived in Adelaide, which made it worse.
Yikes. All right, we'd better move on before this becomes a terrible attempt at stand-up comedy, because only one of us can actually do that. Snacks defeating Banjo Powers one-on-one.
Hang on. When's your terrible attempt at stand-up comedy, Lachlan?
I'm live at the Chuckle Hut this Saturday. Snacks managed to defeat Banjo Powers 1-on-1 in a lead up to Banjo as part of Party Power, or Party Hard, I should say, going up against Could Be the Move. So Snacks and his partner in CBTM getting some momentum here up against Party Hard. Jeff, what did you think of the one-on-one between Snacks and Banjo Powers?
Look, I really like this. I think Snacks is working well as a heel. I think he gets good heat. They both do. And Banjo is such a solid in-ring performer. He really is. He's that kind of guy who doesn't have bad matches. So, yeah, really, really impressed with this. Thought this was a lot of fun and a good way to build up the forthcoming tag match. Yeah, really liked it. A good 6 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Todd, what did you think of this one-on-one between Banjo Powers and Snacks?
Literally, my biggest complaint is it only went for 6 minutes 45. Because, like, you look at the card, and the card is very, like, rookie heavy. Because it's an Academy show. So, I would have liked them to maybe get, like, 10 minutes going into intermission that they had. Because they're the two guys I think that could go, and they could probably put a decent 10 minutes on before.
Yeah. Like Snacks is a young guy, but he's so clearly, at that level now. And Banjo Powers is established and able to do that.
Yeah, because you don't put the tag titles on, like, guys that can't work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so, honestly, that was basically my only complaint about the match, because I thought that they were, if anything, like, against my own argument, they're sort of giving you a taste test of what the tag team match is going to be like at the Rumble. So there is that. I just wanted to see more of it. So I suppose it kind of did its job.
I'm right there with you. Like, I think the reason that you keep this one short is because you want to be able to say to the fans, hey, you want to see more of that? Get your ticket to the Riot City Rumble, right? Because that's where you're going to see more of that. And I think in that way, this match did such a good job of it. Snacks being a little bit of a cheating heel to get the win, not in a way that is, like, he's still not a complete jerk, but he is a cheater, which is what they're going with the CBTM heel turn, which I really like. I think that, the holding the ropes to get the pin is a perfect way to finish this off. And in a way, it justifies the match being shorter, because it would have gone longer if the ref had seen that he was holding the rope. Obviously, there's more that these two have in them. If you come to the Riot City Rumble, you'll see that, right? So I think that I quite like that it was kept short for that reason. But yeah, I would have been very happy to see much more of these two. Continuing on with that, 9 minutes for the next match, Scorch and James Cray going one-on-one. And I love watching James Cray work. The dude just beats his opponent. When you've got a babyface like Scorch on the other side, I think it's the perfect spot for James Cray to just be angry and aggressive. Scorch is really fun. People are clearly into it when they see the gimmick. I wonder if people get confused between Scorch and Red Smash 2, because they are both masked, generic baby faces with red and black ring gear. And I wonder if there's just a little bit too much similarity there. That was the only thought I had about that. But it was only at this show that I had that thought. I haven't thought that in previous shows, so who knows? But yeah, I really like James Cray and Scorch, but that's partially because I really like every James Cray match. I like his style, and whenever he's put up against a babyface, I love watching it. Todd, what did you think of Scorch and James Cray?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was actually really interested, and I might even message him later to find out if this is true. If he was actually hot at the referee for something, or this was just something that he was working in, that he was an angry dude. Because it really looked like he was legitimately hot at the ref for something. And I was just like, oh, gee, I wonder if that's... And I guess that's awesome.
If it's a work, he's done it well.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you can sell someone to have someone think, go, shoot, wonder what's happened there, because he's really pissed off at him. Other than like James has become like James is like, and I've said it before. Like
here he is. Here he is. He's just popped in. He's just
James
popped in.
Gray asking the question. You like watching the same match?
I can ask him that question here, and it'd probably be a very different answer to if I ask him the question offline.
Yeah.
But James is being a bit self-deprecating there. But the thing is, it's not the same match. I love watching the way his style plays out against, whatever opponent he's facing. And yeah, it's consistent because wrestling should be consistent. As a wrestler, you know the moves you can do well that work effectively. There should be some consistency, right? Like, as much as I've complained in the past about 5 moves of doom, like, John Cena's character makes sense that he always moves towards that set of moves because it wins him matches. It would be silly if it didn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I think, and I could be very wrong, but I think Katie and James are sort of in the same class of student, like same year, and they're both they're just really good veterans now, really solid veterans in their own way. Like Katie is very much more the character driven, like character driven sort of gimmick, whereas like James has moved into very much the way I know James really wanted to be, just like that straightforward wrestler type, almost William Regal-ish, like Fit Finlay-ish, beat a guy up wrestling. Like, and I love that. I love that, if a roster can have that guy, I love that. Because it's that point of difference between all these other dudes that nowadays want to do the flips and the 450 splashes. And if you've got a guy who just wants to euro your jaw off, I love that shit. I don't know how you feel.
It's very much Kevin Owens and Claudio. It's that style of wrestler. And that's who I think of when I see James Cray. It's just a pity this match was so shit. I'm joking, James. Don't kill me. No, this was great. Look, Scorch is such a well-rounded character, and it's clear that he and James have worked together a bit to kind of iron out Scorch and get him ready for the bigger cards. Look, if this winds up being James's role, which it was very much William Regal's role for a while there in NXT, when he just occasionally put the boots on and wrestle, his last match ever was against Claudio. What a wonderful position for James to be in. But then you can bring him up to the main card and he can be believable there as well. I think Scorch has a really bright future, excuse the pun. But he's a good hand, and that's something there's something to be said for that at such a young career age, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Scorch do. Now, James, you've said understandable, Jeff, but you've spelt my name incorrectly. So
who's a heel?
Yeah, you're terrible. You're terrible.
He's a heel.
There's no fixing it.
And he says your name's spelled with a J, mate. I will change that graphic next week.
Yeah, it's
I
right
also
there,
think that, like we're saying with that style, the fact that it stands out on the card, right? Like, as much as it's exciting watching all these people do different things and do spectacular flips, when there's one match on a card and it's a guy doing European uppercuts that take people's heads off and, hit burning hammers, like, great. That's a point of difference there, and it makes the whole show more exciting. And I think that it also gives people like Scorch the opportunity to have a match that feels different to the rest of their repertoire, which I think is really important.
And this will make sense in a second. I took an ex-girlfriend to a show, and Ishii was in it. It was a New Japan show here, and she didn't believe in anybody. And then Ishii walked out, and she watched him wrestle and went, "Yeah, he's for real, isn't he? He's really going to hurt that guy." And I feel the same way when James. Sorry, mate.
He actually beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, he actually beat the shit out of him. I felt the same way when James has got that streak of believability about him, and it speaks volumes.
And I think it's important that, this isn't just a credit to James Cray. The way we're talking about this match is very Cray-centric, because when people come in against Cray, it becomes a more James Cray-style match. And I think that that's great because it shows that versatility of the other wrestlers. It shows a new style. It adds that extra little bit of edge to the arsenal. And I think that Scorch really held his own in this match and made it really fun. Speaking of fun, the next sequence began with Joe Master, the podcaster, bringing Party Guy Ty onto his podcast, subsequently being challenged to a dance-off, losing that, and then getting into a match where Party Guy Ty beat Joe Master to remain the party guy of RCW. This was nonsense. This is so dumb. I love a lot of what Joe Master is doing with him inserting ads into the entrances. I think is brilliant. I think it's so funny. And the fact that it happened again later in the show is excellent. I think that a white man with a podcast is a perfect obnoxious heel, obviously. I think that obviously we've got Party Guy Ty doing the classic babyface shtick. Alex Fireheart beat me to the joke of, I'm seeing double here, 4 party guys. This was a lot of goofy fun, and I think was a great, perfect counterpoint to the James Cray match with Scorch to come into, let's do a podcast segment and a dance-off, and we'll fight to be the party guy. Jeff, what did you think of Joe Master and Party Guy Ty?
Look, it was so... And I'm going to say this, and this is possibly not the right word, but it was so tacky. It was hilarious. And that's meant as a compliment. Tacky is probably not the right word, but it was just everything that makes me laugh at wrestling was in this topic. The fact that Party Guy Ty came out with a cozzy for Joe Master was great. It was just so ridiculous.
Banjo Powers was summoned with a cozzy.
Yes, he was summoned with a cozzy. That's right. Banjo came out with a cozzy. Look, it was so funny and over the top, and just that kind of thing where you're going, this is great. This is just hilarious and fun. I thought it was terrific. I loved it. The match was good. Like, Joe Master's really beginning to back it up in the ring as well. And, Ty is a long-standing member of the RCW roster, so he's got some credibility, and he's going to be pretty good. I loved it. Thought it was great. Todd,
what did you think of Joe Master, the podcaster, and Party Guy Ty?
I enjoyed it. I don't know if I was a massive fan of tapping out to a nipple cripple.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of what he does in the middle of a match. It's the middle of the match spot for Party Guy. And, yeah.
It does justify him continuing to do the nipple cripple, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I assume somewhere down the line, like next month, Joe Master's going to need to be taken seriously somewhere. So having him tap out to nipple cripples or Chinese burns, or do you know what I mean? It's just... you can do all of that stuff, but then hit him with a knee or some shit and pin him.
Yeah.
The match. I get what you're saying. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was funny. I thought all that stuff, the preamble to it was great and entertaining, and that it's just that little bit at the end. I was like, okay, you could have done all of that without the end, and I still would have enjoyed it as much.
I
just used a different finish.
Yeah.
I personally think it's building to something else.
What, a nipple cripple?
Yeah, no, as in, there's going to be something else that happens in the future to kind of further.
See, I'm gonna argue with Alex on this one.
Alex Fireheart in the chat said, tapping out to a titty twister is a bit easier to swallow for a comedy finish than Jericho tapping out to a giant swing.
Really? Because, airplane spins used to tap people out all the time back in the day.
Yeah, I don't agree.
I'm not sure how many people Lou Thez beat with a titty twister.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think I don't agree with Alex. I think that tapping out to the giant swing was made to make Cesaro's giant swing look awesome. Whereas I can understand your problem with tapping out to a titty twister, because I don't think Party Guy Tai is going to use the titty twister as a regular finisher or even a move to wear an opponent.
Can we please call it a nipple cripple? Because titty twister just sounds almost assaulty.
Well, so does nipple cripple. It doesn't sound, it's like not a 2025 phrase.
Purple nurple, anyone?
Purple nurple. There we go.
I never thought I'd be the voice of reason by suggesting purple nurple.
I know.
I can't. Wrestle Radio Australia, ladies and gentlemen, where all kinds of conversations happen.
May I offer you a purple nipple?
Bloody DJ suggesting that someone could pull out a third nipple for a triple nipple cripple?
Yeah, Chandler Bing would be all over that.
Anyway,
Friends reference. Chandler Bing had a third nipple.
I've never liked it. So
cool. I understand what you're saying. I think that when you've got a goofy match like this, sometimes I think a goofy finish is okay, and that's what this was. It was a goofy finish. I think that, if Party Guy Tai had beaten James Gray with a purple nurple, I'd have more of a problem with it. But him beating Joe Master with it, I'm a little more fine with, especially because Joe Master then continued to make that a point that he had been really hurt by what had happened, right? So we'll get to that in a second, but I think I can understand not enjoying it, but in this situation, I'm not super upset by it. Moving on, though, through RCW Matt Hayter the Musical is a triple threat match, which I was really impressed by. This one had Ricardo, Prince Apollo, and Xavier Carter, all guys who have been coming up through the RCW Academy, with Ricardo getting the win here. I'll pass it off to Jeff first. What did you think of Prince Apollo, Xavier Carter, and Ricardo?
I like this a lot. I mean, Ricardo is clearly someone that RCW see a lot in, and rightly so too. He's a unique presentation. Both Apollo and Carter were a joy to watch. I thought this was wonderful. For me, this was actually the match of the night, because they gave it time to breathe and gave it time to build, and it was really, really wonderful to see these three younger performers going at it and having a really nice time doing so. Todd, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, it's very much like the fact that Ricardo is so popular when clearly he's still trying to master English is great. Like that for the visa, that popped me.
Mm-hmm.
For the city, for the visa, just I love that. It almost felt like though that Xavier Carter, while he's got a tremendous amount of upside, kind of got overshadowed by the two really big, strong characters in Prince Apollo and Ricardo. There's nothing against him, because I think he's a hell of a kid and he's going to have a bright future. I think he's one of those guys that isn't getting a lot of play at the moment, but that will change in time.
But he was just a guy in this match, whereas the other two were big characters.
Yeah, exactly. And Prince Apollo, I think, has got a huge amount of upside. We said this the last time we saw him work. The little things he just has to work on to be right there, I think. But yeah, I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was great. They definitely put the right guy over. I thought if anyone else had beaten, if Xavier had gotten a pin, I don't think he would have been all that popular. And intendedly, Apollo would have got booed out of the building if he'd have pinned Ricardo. So
yes,
good work here for this one. Yeah, tons of upside in all three of these guys. It's going to be really interesting to watch these guys in another 6 months to a year to what they can do, because I think all three of them have potential to do good things, especially in Riot City where they nurture that.
Yeah, absolutely. Prince Apollo, I could watch that guy work all day. He has got such a future ahead of him as a guy who uses his size in a really good way. He's not coming out, he's not necessarily a quote-unquote body guy, but he comes out as, I'm a big dude who's going to kick you around a bit, And I love that. And I love that he's got that cocky character with it.
If he ever does become a body guy, you'd be very hard to hold him back from being in that top level scene.
Oh yeah,
really, it's like the only thing that's holding him back, I think, at the moment. Pardon? I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, if he's working with Slex, he could do really well working with Slex.
Yeah, I know it seems like it, but I don't think everyone in Australian wrestling is quite doing that.
Yeah, there's still one or two that aren't there yet.
There's still one or two apparently that aren't doing it. Although I know fucking Mitch, because I said to Mitch like the other day, we were driving to one of the shows. I'm like, "Are you doing the potty biz?" He goes, "I'm doing Chat GPT."
That's what he's told me too.
Yep. He just asks the questions, and it helps him with his workouts. And if you've seen what Mitch looks like at the moment, it's like, Jesus Christ,
he looks incredible. So like, watch out, Slex. Don't let the large language model get you. I agree with Alex Fireheart here, who says, I'll admit I'm still hung up on the entrance music choice for Ricardo. My brain just can't make the connection for how a Dragon Force song fits with his whole shtick. More of a nitpick, honestly, but yeah. I will say that for my personal circumstances, see, I didn't hit the catchphrase there.
Oh.
That song just gets me so hype that it kind of doesn't matter whether it fits him or not. It just puts me in a very, like, hell yeah, it's 2007 and I'm riding high, baby. Like, it gives me that energy, which is exactly what the kind of Ricardo character is going for. So I agree that I don't think the song fits thematically. I think in vibes it does fit. Although that might just be a personal attachment that I've got to the song. Jeff, what's your opinion on that?
Oh, look, I kind of like it. I like the cheesiness of it. There's a hint of, retro cheese and fun with it. So I don't mind it. It wasn't something that stood out to me as being particularly bad.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think overall, like, you can see that this match was one of the longer matches on the show, and for good reason. They really executed well. Alex Fireheart saying, I mean, he doesn't have to come out to that song from Robin Hood, Men in Tights or anything, but And I would say Alex Fireheart, he could. He could come out to Robin
Tights.
Just take the Robin Hood and His Merry Men song from Shrek 2 and make that your entrance music. Yeah, good stuff. Right? Lots of options there. Moving on, though. And again, going from the playful to the serious here in RCW at Matt Hayter the Musical. Following this was Brody Hunter managing to get a win over Kai Thorne. Kai Thorne in a bit of an interesting place here since losing Thorne Enterprises. And interesting to see Brody Hunter, after last time we talked about RCW, we talked about the mask of Brody Hunter being a bit strange to be in the ring. And in this match, it becomes kind of a plot point where the mask itself gets used by Kai Thorne to distract Brody Hunter to take away the vision, which is very interesting. Todd, what did you think of Kai Thorne and Brody Hunter?
I like Kai. I like Brody. I'm still really hung up on the mask. Like, it just... Especially at the end of the match when like Brody is out there like celebrating with fans and selling his jaw. I'm like, dude, you're wearing a protective mask. What are you doing here, brother? Like, I'm still 100% on he should get himself a lucha mask that has that pattern on it.
Yeah.
And he can wear the other masks to the ring because it's a gimmick seller. There were kids in the crowd that had hockey masks. So it's a gimmick seller. He could do that, but just have a lucha mask so you can work and you can. I can't imagine that it's great to breathe in either during the match.
I will say if he is it's possible he is partway through going down that route and he just doesn't have it yet, right? You can't magically make one appear in 2 days.
Well, no, but it's been longer than 2 days we've been talking about it.
I know. Alex Fireheart mentions Crossbones from Chikara with a very similar style mask there.
Yeah.
Jeff, what did you think of this matchup between Brody Hunter and Kai Thorne?
Good match. Like, Kai Thorne's really good. Brody's very good. The mask is a distraction. Like, I'm glad it was used in the match, but it's distracting to watch as well, because it's white. If people might say, "Oh, Kane wrestled in a similar kind of mask," yeah, but his was not such a striking color, and
it was also leather.
There was a storyline. Yeah,
protective plastic.
There was a storyline reason for it as well. We're not told why Brody's wearing this mask. So I think I really like him, and I like the look of the mask, but I think, as you've said, Todd, it needs to be adapted somehow to make it more comfortable to watch, and probably more comfortable for Brody. This wasn't a long match. Once he starts to reach double figures in a match, 10, 15, 20 minutes, it changes everything. I mean, we'll find out on October 18th at the Riot City Rumble. If he's in there for a long time, then we know, because we're assuming he's going to be part of it, then we know that, that they're starting to stretch it.
But both of these guys aren't that far away from, in my head anyway, being considered like upper middle card guys contending for that crown jewel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could crown jewel, you know what I mean? The
Emerald Crown.
Yeah, Emerald Crown.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it is, I guess it's frustrating when we're talking about what was quite a good match, but we're so hung up on the mask that we're not talking about, oh, Kai Thorne did this really well, Brody Hunter did this really well. Like, because the match was good. Brody Hunter's huge. They play into that. Thorne played off it well, being the jerk to get the advantage. But yeah, the mask is a problem for us. Yeah, clearly.
Both the guys are really good. Like Kai Thorne is filled out as well. So where he actually looks like he put some force behind the shots. Like if I remember rightly, he was a tad on the undersized size before, and now he looks like he could throw a punch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like both of these guys are really close to being like that upper middle card where I can contend for that mid title. Or be put into a tag team and contend for that tag team title, because they're both really close. They're both really close. There's little things like aesthetically, I think for Brody, which we've talked about ad nauseum, and just Kai is probably a little bit like Prince Apollo too, whereas he became maybe a little bit more of a body-ish guy, he would be even more harder to deny moving up the card because he's got the in-ring down, I think.
And I also think it should be clear here that I don't think being a quote-unquote body guy is essential, right?
No.
But there is an element of believability that comes with a certain physique, especially when you've got a company that has people like Matt Hayter, Dean Brady, Grimm, guys who look incredible. They are in incredible shape, and there's plenty of resources there clearly to say, hey, how do I build physique? Those guys know.
Yeah. I mean, Sigma's not exactly a body guy. He's not exactly chiseled, but he's solid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference between being solid and being just a big guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, moving on to a match that was a little bit chaotic, to say the least. Einar the Strange taking on Chasm. Chasm here accompanied by Joe Master, the podcaster, and the two of them had traded gear. Joe Master was wearing Chasm's gear from the previous show, and Chasm was wearing Joe Master's tights, and this comes off Einar the Strange having a feud with Joe Master over the past few shows, and then Joe getting really involved and throwing the turnbuckle away to distract the referee, but Chasm, then getting the win, but then Joe trying to dance with Einar, but Einar waking up and hitting Joe over the head with the sign and dancing with him. And this, honestly, nothing here was bad, but it left me confused. And I understand that they're both trying to go for weirdo characters, and there's kind of a desire to see the weirdos match up. But then this was much more about Einar and Joe than it was about Chasm. And I feel like the wrestling match could have been a lot better if they relied less on the gimmicks, or if they had bought in more to the gimmicks, it would have been more fun and goofy. But it felt lost in the pull of a lot of different directions here to me. That could just be me. Jeff, what did you think of it?
Thanks for dropping the catchphrase. I like this to a point. I went off on a tangent in my mind and wondered if Einar has a family. So like there's Barbara the Strange, Michael the Strange, Reginald the Strange, you know, and little Debbie,
little
and
Timmy and Sarah the Strange, yeah.
But then the match itself was good. The moves that were put on was good, but I agree with you that there was almost too much hokiness surrounding the match for the match to be memorable or have anything too memorable, and that ending just confused me. You know, it just kind of had me going, wait, what? Hang on, he's out, so he's going to be, why dance with him? It doesn't make sense. It's not something that's been built to. It was just something that was thrown in. And maybe that's partly because it's a Matt Hayter the Musical show, but it just there was some leaps that I think that they were asking us to make that I didn't quite jump over the canyon, as it were. And there were a couple of times where that happened. Todd, what are your feelings?
I was confused because I thought when Chasm beat Einar, I said, okay, so we're going to the Rumble for the big blow-off match where Einar will finally get his, like, maybe it's a handicap match and he finally gets both of them. And then they basically did the blow-off in the post-match thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, then I guess this is the end, but I can't see anyone coming back from what he's just done to Joe. And making it, like, making you want to see it. The other thing and it's something that I find is it's like a bugbear of mine when it comes to these matches, right? You have the heel that cheats, he hits somebody with something, and then instead of pinning him, then has to hit him with another move before he pins him. Like, just pin him. You're not there to... Yeah, go on, Lachlan, you were going to cut me off or something?
Yeah, I was. The thing that is coming to my head at the moment is that I understand a lot of these characters are quote-unquote weirdos, right? You're playing a character who's a little bit loopy, a little bit of a freak. What I want out of it is just some internal consistency about what the character's goals and motivations are. Because Einar dancing with Joe and Joe dancing with Einar, and I'm fine with it happening if there seems to be a reason that is what those characters want. Is it a display of dominance because it doesn't quite seem like it? Like,
I'm pretty sure in a show before, and I don't know if it's one that we've reviewed or not, that Einar actually did that with Joe.
Yes.
Had him knocked out and he picked him up and danced around. So this was Joe trying to get his, like, come up and back on him.
But then why did Einar then do the dance again? Because if him dancing with Joe once was enough to make Joe want revenge, then dancing with him again would just perpetuate that. Again, I kind of want to know the why.
Do you know what my question was? Like, how long do you reckon Chasm was backstage before he realized Joe wasn't with him?
Yeah, what's Chasm doing at that point?
Well,
I guess Sorry, Jeff, go on.
I just want to add for the thanks, Jeff, bit of the night, that if Einar don't dance, and if he don't dance, then he's no friend of mine.
Yeah, thanks,
so,
Jeff.
Yeah.
I guess that Chasm is more taking advantage of Joe Master than he is an ally, so he's not worried about, Joe can get his ass kicked, that's fine by me.
Well, like, Chasm's motivation was to get his umbrella back.
Yes.
But, like, I literally cannot see... Like, they can't really go into the next... They couldn't go anywhere else with this thing, because what more can you do to Joe after you've done what he did to him at the end of the match?
That's right.
So they kind of just blew it off, even though Einar lost the match.
Alex Fireheart says, to be fair, this makes no sense. Kind of seems like the point. Very lol random because his whole thing is being strange. I get why people wouldn't like that, to be fair, but that seems to be the point. I agree with you to an extent, Alex, but I think that strange characters still have internal motivation, right? And you look at the most lol so random haha characters in any media, right? Like you look at the Joker, whose whole thing is he wants to create chaos. That is internally consistent with his character. Everything he does is to achieve a consistent result. And there's always a reason behind what he's doing, even if it seems random at the time. And I feel like that's just a little bit missing from, at least from Einar at the moment, which is especially concerning because physically in ring, Einar is so good. And you can see this in this match with Chasm. These guys, when they were wrestling each other, really delivered. But that wasn't most of what the match was. Most of the match was interacting with Joe, who, again, we saw have like a really entertaining match earlier in the night and do some really entertaining stuff. So it's not to say that Joe is taking away from anything because he's added massively to this show. But I would have rather have seen Einar and Chasm wrestle than what this was, which just left me with question marks, I guess.
I felt that there was a slight issue with this show, and that is there was a little too much Joe. I get that he's a character that you're going to build, but he was on this show for almost half an hour. If you look at the fact that, you know, the podcast bit went on for about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't have an exact time of it. Then you have the match itself, which went on for the better part of 7. Let's call that 7. So that's about 18 minutes there, 15 to 18 minutes. Then we get him coming out with Chasm. And there's some stuff that happened after the Party Guy Taijo Master matchup. Then he comes out with Chasm. He's out there for 9 minutes, and then the aftermatch shenanigans went on for another 2 minutes. That's 40 minutes in a 2-hour show that featured Joe Master. Is just a little bit too much. I think, you know, there's an expression that is someone's lesser by halves almost. And it's something that, you know, love them or hate them, WWE are doing a really good job with Sami Zayn at the moment because he's not in every single show. They use him sparingly because they're beginning to realise that the Sami Zayn challenge is a good idea and it's clearly going to work. So don't use it every single week. And, you know, I think sometimes less is more, I guess, is my point.
Yeah, absolutely. Although sometimes...
Like, they've established the guy and he's got really good heat, so they're just going to try and use that as much as they can at the moment.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
I think I had the same problem. I think I had the same problem back when they were doing it with Cliff, and you know how much I love Mr. Cliff. But they were there was one show where he was in almost every segment, and it just gets overkill.
So I do think that, you know, we've kind of made some concerns clear about this, despite the fact that when the two were working, it was working really well. But I do think that less is more sometimes. But sometimes I also think that more is more. And we can see that in this main event, an 8-man tag match of Team Matt Hayter versus team of people who hate Matt Hayter. So that is Haley Hendricks, Jet Armstrong, Red Smash 2, and Matt Hayter on one side, up against Kit and the Old Guard, Dean Brady, Grimm, and Violet Blitz on the other side. I'll get my negative out of the way first. The Old Guard's music was one of my favorite things in Australian wrestling. Yeah, I understand that we've got a new...
I was like, oh, Lachlan will be so pissed.
I know that we've got a new iteration of the Old Guard, and I understand why it's been done. And even on commentary, they're talking about, you know, it's the new Old Guard. But I loved that music so much. And the new stuff is, I'm sure it'll grow on me. It sounds fine, but it's not that music that I bloody love. That's, I think, the only real complaint I've got here. You've got some fun goofiness with Haley Hendricks and Jet Armstrong and Red Smash 2, all dressing up as versions of Matt Hayter, which is really fun. Then you had, Matt Hayter as Dr. Frankenfurter, Dr. Frankenhater going on with the wig and the makeup, and that's so perfectly Matt Hayter. I love it, and a song that references the pelvic thrust for him is excellent. On the Old Guard side, Dean and Grim and Violet, Blitz and Kit not being here to deal with people having a goofy, fun, good time. They're here to kick ass. I like Alex's Fireheart suggestion of a new Neo old guard. That's very good. I thought this was a great mesh of styles. I thought this was an excellent way to get people like Hayley Hendricks once again utilize the support that Hayley Hendricks has without putting her in a position that might expose her as less experienced than some of the other people in this match, and give her some really fun spots to do, like the splits into a kick to the balls. Like, that's great fun. That's perfect for this kind of match. They also, like, they teased her doing the thrust, and I'm like, don't know if I'd go with that. And then she did splits kick to the balls instead, like full Johnny Cage. So good. I think this was really well done. I think Kit and the Old Guard were the perfect straight men to the goofy team. This was a lot of fun, and this is exactly what I wanted out of the main event of Matt Hayter the Musical, personally. Jeff, what did you think of it?
Oh, look, I liked it a lot. My quibble is that they played the time warp and Frank was never present during the time warp. He came in after the time warp. Come on, people, get your references right. Jokes, of course. Look, I like this a lot.
I can actually hear Hayter boiling right now.
On your Hater. I like this a lot. There was so much to like about this. Jet Armstrong really slotted him well as a recent baby face. Like, he's not been a baby face that long, and he got the crowd behind him and did some really nice stuff there. It was a wonderful main event for this show too, and I think that it really, really worked. I like the Old Guard so much. Like, music choice aside, there you go, Lachlan, that's for you.
Thank you.
I like them so much. I think that they were clearly having fun in this match. And I think, the other team centered on Matt enough, but yet when it came time to wrestle, they wrestled really well. It was great. Thought it was terrific. Todd?
Yeah. I kind of got two things. I have a feeling that Matt has a people wearing his gear fetish. Because it doesn't seem to be, whatever he ends up doing, eventually whoever he partners with end up wearing his gear in one way or another. I don't know what it is about that. And like, poor Kit. Kit should have just walked out wearing a red shirt.
Oh, truly.
As soon as he walked out, I said, oh, you poor fodder. They should just rename him Fodder for the night, because that's what he was. I love the fact that the Old Guard didn't just accept him as a team. It's like, nah, we don't give a shit about you, brother. We're a group. Just that fact when Hayter was lining up for the super kick, and Dean just pounced Kit out of the way, because like, you're not losing, and then eventually going, well, if anyone's going to lose, it's going to be you, not us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a good, like, it's one of those things where, like, it was a main event match that was never meant to be a main event match. It was just a bit of fun. Let's get four guys in here, and we're not going to tell an epic story of run-ins and close falls, and we're just going to do some real fuckery.
But it also did the business of making Dean Brady seem like the obvious threat to Matt Hayter's title reign, while having the nonsense go on around it, which I think was really clever.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. But yeah, I kind of like the fact that they didn't take themselves too seriously in the main event because of what the main event was. I mean, you call a main event like Team Matt Hayter against team of people that hate Matt Hayter. You can't really be overly blood feudy serious when you're going into that.
Yes. And Alex Fireheart's exactly right, saying on the plus side, Red Smash stripping down to Matt Hayter gear counteracts Lachlan's point from earlier about people getting him and Scorch confused. Yes, absolutely it does. I also think that from the brief amount of time I have spent with Matt Hayter outside of shows, this is just who Matt Hayter is. Like, him getting dressed up as Frankenfurter and doing the time warp. Like, that's just Hayter.
You say dressed up. I'm fairly sure he wouldn't have had to go out to buy anything that he wore to the ring that night.
No, he had all
he would have already
showed up. the day was 40 degrees in Adelaide when we did Brainier with Dean and Hayter. It was 40 degrees. On stage it was 43 because, of course, we were in a venue that has everything is black. So the stage is black and the chairs are black. Everything was black. And Hayter still put on the tiger print. They both got dressed up. They both had some fun. It was a great show, and nothing surprises me with Matt Hayter. He
man's an animal. I love it.
His promo for Brainier featured a certain high profile Australian porn star to whom he was dedicating the win. And Bro sends me a message going, "Love the promo. Who is that?"
Yeah, okay, bros.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Okay, bros.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
He claimed to have no idea.
I bet you he was typing that out right next to his wife as well. Who is that? I have no idea who that is.
Honey, do you know who this person is?
Yeah, you know, Brose's wonderful wife probably would know exactly who.
Yeah.
Look, this is exactly the kind of fun that this main event led to, is these conversations, because it was Matt Hayter through and through. And that's, Matt Hayter the Musical in a nutshell. A really fun show. Obviously, we like to have criticisms because we want to see these shows get better and better every time. But as far as a wrestling show goes, this was a lot of fun top to bottom, with a lot of really good in-ring action complemented by a lot of fun nonsense. And that sounds...
And this is something that these shows do. These Academy shows really capture the sense of humour that's inherent in Riot City Wrestling. And that's not just from Matt Hayter. That comes through with Gouda. That comes through. Even the old guard seem to kind of put the tongue in the cheek when they're coming to do these shows, because they're not canon. They're supposed to be a bit of fun.
Absolutely. And if this sounds like a bit of fun to you, then make sure you check out RCW Mean Street Mayhem Matt Hayter the Musical. You can do it from the description of this podcast, or you can head on over to YouTube, type in Riot City Wrestling, type in Matt Hayter the Musical. It is free on YouTube, so you can catch it there. And if you're excited about what's going on in Riot City Wrestling and you're in Adelaide, well, then on Saturday, October 18th, Riot City Rumble is on. You can get your tickets from Eventbrite. Obviously, that's going to be an enormous show with a lot going on. If this is what the Main Street Mayhem looks like, imagine what the big Rumble show is going to look like. So absolutely keep an eye on Riot City Wrestling. We always do, because they put on some of the best shows around the country. But we're closing in on big shows everywhere around the country. Let's talk about a couple of them. First of all, in Melbourne, MCW Clash of the Titans. This is going to be on October 14th at the Melbourne Pavilion. Jeff's going to be there. I'm going to be there. If you're there, make sure you say hi to us. If you're not there, make sure that you don't say hi to us, but make sure that you've got an entry into our competition. Check the episode last week or the week before for details on how to enter that on YouTube. And you could potentially win a double pass thanks to our friends at Melbourne City Wrestling. That's huge. But check out this card for October 14th at the Melbourne Pavilion. There's a 6-man scramble match with Matt Hayter, Anth Kava, MJ Russo, Lucas Fantasia, Ryan Rapid, and Jahari. There's a match for number 1 contendership for the MCW Tag Team Championships between the Physicals and the Natural Classics. There's a dress rehearsal match for the MCW Women's Championship match that'll be happening later, with Shay Cassidy taking on Erica Reed non-title in preparation for their title matchup. There's a contract signing between Tuckman and the Clydesdale, which I've heard will have a special guest host. Not sure who that's going to be. There's going to be one-on-one Adam Brooks and Ricky South. And in the main event, the team of Jarvis and Caveman Ugg taking on the Icons, Robbie Thorpe and Lucky O'Leary. Get involved in the competition or head to mcwtix.com.au. That's mcwtix.com.au to get a hold of tickets for that. And a huge thank you to our friends at MCW regarding that show. Speaking of a show run by our friends who we've been involved with, October 12th, EPW, Willerton Stadium, This Is Our House. This is a show where we were absolutely honored to announce several of the people in the 20-person West versus the Rest Rumble, which has just shaped up to be one of the best Rumble lineups ever. I think you could put together 2 full wrestling cards just out of people in this Rumble. Check this out. Edward Dusk, Tali, Great George, Craven, Dean Brady, Robbie Hart, Kai Drake, Stella Nix, Trent O'Day, The Velocities, The Pulse, Eugenie, Dustin Connors, Chris Target, Gavin McGavin, Faisal Ali, Gino Gambino, and Caveman Ugg, all in that 20-person West versus the Rest Rumble. Thank you for the Loxcalibur pickup there. You've also got the team of Jesse Lambert and the Dropouts taking on the team of Will Keatis and the Purveyors of Work Rate. You've got a triple threat match with Rita Stone, Jess Troy, and Shay Cassidy. You've got a coastal title match with Rogan Kargas defending that title against one of the hardest working men in pro wrestling, Matt Hayter. You've got a 6-man tag match, right, which has TMDK, the team of Marcus Pitt and Mikey Broderick, who are semi-finalists in the EPW Invitational, along with, Damian Slater and Broderick are the semi-finalists, and Marcus Pitt, the number one contender for the EPW Championship. And on the other side, you've got the other 2 semi-finalists for the Invitational, that's Blackwell and Fantasia, as well as the EPW champion James Hartness. As well as that, there's a tag team match with ATO taking on OG TMDK, Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste. And then in the main event, Davis Storm's last match taking on the Don Michael Morleone. What an incredible lineup for October 12th at Willerton Stadium, EPW's This Is Our House. We're going to be talking more about that coming up this week, in fact, or early next week. On Monday, here at Wrestle Radio Australia, you'll be able to catch Todd's interview with the man having his last match, Davis Storm. There's the promo for that on the screen now if you're watching. Awesome stuff coming out of EPW, as well as...
Also, as a reminder, you can get your tickets at epwperth.com. For those.
Thank you for that. I should mention that. And that's not the only place that EPW is going to be that weekend, because it's a big weekend for wrestling. EPW and Fat Brew presents This Is Fat House. EPW is going to be presenting 3 live pro wrestling sessions each day at Fat Brew Club on Friday the 10th, Saturday the 11th, and Monday the 13th of October. So getting in around those other shows. Each day is going to be hosted by, well, respectively, Solomon Blackwell, Hayden Zenith, and the EPW heavyweight champion James Hartness. And they're promising you'll see some familiar faces and some special guests from all around Australia. So if you're heading over to Perth for that weekend, it's going to be stacked with wrestling. Not only from EPW, because Dude Where's My Ring had the official, unofficial pre-show for WWE on Saturday, October the 11th, with doors opening at midday at Seasonal Brewing. Check out what's on this card so far. Elijah Henry versus Mikey Nichols. Jay Taylor versus Aaron O'Malley. You've got Vinny, also known as Vinny Di Maria, but Vinny from Heat, as well as the Knights of Nicotine, Buster Rust and Papa Germ, taking on the team of Julian Ward and PPK. What a team that is. You've also got another tag team match with The Pulse taking on Tali and Axe Massacre, who we just saw the 2 of them on Saturday, Todd and I wrestling each other. Seeing them as a tag team is very cool, especially up against The Pulse. That'll be wild. There's a 4-way match. Oh, it was a belter. 4-way match, Murdoch, Faisal Ali, Dean Brady, Trent O'Day. So coming from all around Australia for that matchup, you can see Todd's face change as soon as I mentioned Trent.
No,
there.
I'm just imagining how many fruit baskets I'm going to have to spend this weekend.
I think Dean Brady might have you covered on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Jeff, but I put up a tweet saying, can somebody let me know who eliminates Trent O'Day from the 20-person Rumble, because I want to send him a fruit basket. To which Dusk replied, make it assorted biscuits. And I said, you're on. So Dusk is looking out for Trent O'Day.
Okay.
And Trent O'Day didn't really help things, because Trent turned around and said that Dusk seems like an Ice Vovo guy. So, I mean, I don't know why you would do that. Why would you do that to
Why
yourself?
would you aggravate Dusk? Lachlan, why do you aggravate Dusk?
Hey, get this. Trent O'Day tweeted at Dusk that he was going to beat Dusk for my honor, and Dusk said, I don't even know who that is. So apparently I'm out of the woods. It seems like I'm safe for the time being. But no. Also on that...
Just to make a message quickly.
Also on that Dude Where's My Ring show is going to be announced without a match so far. Einar the Strange is going to be on that show, as is Jessica Troy. So, I mean, if that doesn't make you excited for that.
That is going to be fantastic, and the folks there at Seasonal Brewing are great. I've just had a couple of people ask me in the last week again if we're going to Perth. If we were going to be in Perth, unfortunately, we would have announced it by now, but it's just not possible logistically. It's also like last year we had a wonderful time in Perth, but there's even more events this year, and we feel that we might just get a little lost in amongst everything else. But to the folks who are doing things in Perth, like, it's a wonderful city. You're going to have a great time. Congratulations, everybody. It's going to be a hugely successful weekend. We really look
pay for
forward
this show.
to
I
it.
can't possibly afford that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
I'm heading down to Melbourne, so I'll hopefully be, seeing WWE in Melbourne. I'll be there for the MCW show, so that's taking up travel budget. It's a rough spot. So, we'll get to as many of these shows as we can. It's always frustrating when, budgets can't happen, but absolute best wishes to everyone in Perth, and I'm very jealous of those shows you get to see.
Yeah, I 1,000% wish I had the money to go over there to see that weekend.
Me too.
Because and just for the Aussie wrestling stuff, not even the WWE stuff. Because I'd mentioned before, like I've seen John Cena wrestle. I've done it.
Yeah.
Like I have to see him the last time. As far as I'm concerned, I've seen him. I've seen it. Like David Storm. That's someone who I'd like to see off. That's someone who.
That's it.
I really
That's
wish
it.
I could be there to watch that match. So,
That's
my biggest regret for the weekend.
I'm like, we're not going to be at PAX this year. I've also acknowledged that in the past. I don't mind missing a PAX. I've been to so many of them now. I would love to be sitting in that building when a friend of mine, Davis, calls it a day in ring, because he means a lot. And I'll go more into this in subsequent weeks, but he means a lot to me on a personal level and also on a professional level. He's a
Absolutely. I'll be at PAX, as will the Giant Coyote, who's in the chat. So, hey there, Coyote. How are you, mate? And there's plenty of other places that you can be in terms of Australian wrestling this weekend. Obviously, next weekend's huge, but this weekend, it's already stacked, right? If you're in Victoria, Adrenaline Pro Wrestling Breakout number 61 is on Friday, October 3rd. And on Saturday, October 4th, PCW's Injustice is going to be on. And all weekend, Friday, October 3rd, Saturday, October 4th, Sunday, October 5th, you can catch MXW Pro Wrestling at the Murtoa Show. Speaking of things that are on all weekend, if you're up here in Queensland, PWA, that's right, Pro Wrestling Australia from Sydney, they're going to be up here for the Viral Food Festival on the Gold Coast on Friday, October 3rd, Saturday, October 4th, and Sunday, October 5th. You'll be able to catch me at the Friday and Saturday shows.
That's good that you booked this time.
Yeah, I got told a week in advance. Yes, we love it. In New South Wales, Integrity Sports Entertainment Australia has Enter the Dragon on Friday, October 3rd. And on Saturday, October 4th, PWA has Finals Fever, Mounties number 9. So that's a huge show that we've talked a lot about with Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles on that card. Meanwhile, over in South Australia, Pro Wrestling South Australia has the Drums of War on Saturday, October 4th. So pretty much wherever you are in the country, you can get along to some wrestling. And speaking of a big announcement for wrestling dates that has happened over the past 24 hours, World Series Wrestling is coming back with their Rise Against tour. If you are in Adelaide, you can catch them on Friday, the 15th of May at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. If you're in Melbourne, they're at the Melbourne Pavilion on both Saturday, the 16th and Sunday, the 17th of May. And then on Monday, the 18th of May, they'll be wrapping up at Panthers Penrith in New South Wales. Tickets are going to go on sale on Wednesday, the 22nd of October. So you've got about 3 weeks to get everything organised for that. WorldSeriesWrestling.com.au for more details on that. What I'm sure will be a massive tour. And with so much going on, that it doesn't seem like live performances by Rise Against, Alex Fireheart. They're definitely leaning into that theming. I think they might get a couple of people thinking they're seeing a Rise Against concert. You never know. Could be useful to fill out that Adelaide Entertainment Centre and the Melbourne Pavilion. Big venues. But, there's this many dates going on in Australian wrestling. Keeping up with it is so difficult. You've kind of got to follow Wrestle Radio Australia and Making Chicken Salad to keep up with it. But then there's also all the international stuff that we've got to talk about. There's WWE and NXT versus TNA, and AEW's got Returns and Wrestle Dream coming up. And there's so much going on. We're going to talk about everything that's going on around the world of wrestling right after this.
I knew you were going to do that. What are we going to do in the break, mate?
What could we possibly do in the break? Is it like
when you go because you know how I don't edit these things, so people listening to the podcast are going to listen to the break. So what is happening in the break?
Let's put on something entertaining then. Let's put on an interview that I did with Queensland wrestling sensation EC Diamond at UPW's event last Saturday night after the show. How does that sound for a break there, Todd?
Well, I edited the damn thing. We might as well do it.
I guess.
Edited the damn thing. You fucking kids, stay off my lawn.
Tell us how the new mic is, guys.
Old man shaking it. But no, you caught up with him after what was the show called?
UPW's Undisputed Glory, which happened last Saturday.
Thank you very much. Yes, yeah, we had the I'd say pleasure of working him earlier that night. So pleasure. I don't know.
It was an honor to interview him. I don't know if it was much of a pleasure wrestling against him.
I will say one thing, and something that you guys wouldn't have known in the building, like. Getting out there in front of the crowd was the nicest area because that was air conditioned. Backstage was not.
So, quick aside, because this is, technically the break, quote unquote, because I did my right after this thing. But when I showed up to the show, it turned out because the venue that it's in is right next to Aussie World, the theme park. And Aussie World was having like a nighttime event. They had like a big foam party and the rides were open at night. So the car park was packed. And normally, correct me if I'm wrong, Todd, at UPW, they use an area of the park as backstage.
Yes,
and so that was closed off, as well as the regular toilets for the venue were closed off because they're technically part of the theme park. So we had to leave the venue and go into the bar to access toilets. It was wild, but the venue was still like absolutely packed out. It was super cool.
Yeah, considering it was like over 400 people there as well. I was like, jeez, this is going to be interesting.
But I tell you what,
really good night. It was a very solid night of wrestling too, I think.
And Mitch Ryder versus EC Diamond, pump that into my veins.
Yeah, it was not bad. It wasn't bad.
Not bad.
I will say it's very rare that you lose a match and still get like them hating you on the way out.
Oh yeah, booed to oblivion on the way out.
We really did nothing for that.
No, there was like one point where you grabbed EC's boot while he was on the outside. That was it.
Yeah, I choked him a little bit.
Just a little. I do remember.
Just a little bit. Yeah, it was more of a...
Anyway, so let's play my interview with EC Diamond from Undisputed Glory, UPW.
Okay, we'll be back right after this, guys.
Attention, trading card collectors! Are you ready to take your collection to the next level? Dive into the action with the limited edition Australian Wrestling Card, showcasing the most electrifying talents Australia has to offer. Imagine owning cards featuring legends such as Robbie Eagles, Shazza McKenzie, Shane Hayes, Madison Eagles, and many, many more. But that's not all. You'll also snag cards of the iconic referees, commentators, and announcers, just like me, Lord Andy Coyne, to truly capture the spirit of Australian independent wrestling. And as our homegrown talent continues to dominate the world stage, Ozres cards are destined to become hot commodities. Not only will you be owning a valuable piece of wrestling history, but you'll also be supporting the amazing wrestlers and talented photographers behind the magic. So don't wait! Grab your Australian wrestling cards now at pariomagazine.com.au/Ozres cards. Order today and kickstart your collection with a bang!
Albert, I am here with the Diamond Standard EC Diamond. How you doing, brother?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, mate. Always good. It's an absolute pleasure. Mate, this is the second weekend in a row that I've seen you work.
It is.
You're doing excellent stuff. I heard that you just got added in as a trainer at the 3-Count Pro Wrestling... caught me there. The UPW Pro Wrestling Academy, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What's it like to be working with that new generation of talent, bringing people up?
It's really cool. I think the big thing for me is the fact that I came through UPW when it started. So seeing this new generation of wrestlers come through and try and bite their way through, it's just really mind-boggling because I see myself in it, which is really, really cool. So being able to show the things I've learned from OVW, the things I've learned from the people here, and trying to mash them all together, I feel like I can do a really, really good job of just bringing this grassroots up.
And I definitely think that from you, there's a lot of great technical wrestling knowledge, but there's also a lot of life knowledge. We're seeing you push through, over the last few years, you've pushed through so much and made wrestling that priority. How does wrestling fit into your life in terms of, the ways you're pushing yourself?
It's my everything. It always has been. I think the 2 years that I had off really were the darkest times that I had, but to have everyone behind me now and really just pushing that dream 24/7, it's really life-changing. So for me to have wrestling as a whole now, and it's in my blood, so I feel amazing. Like it's just really good to know that I'm on the up and up, and the sky's the limit. Like that's really the big thing is everything can stay here in Queensland. That's great. I want this place to grow. But the big thing for me is come 2026, 2027, the sky is the limit. Like back to OVW, that's a really big goal of mine. When I'm saying that, like, I really just want to see places like UPW explode. Like, if UPW got a TV deal, that would be through the roof.
We're talking about, across Australia, the quality of wrestling that gets put out week on week on week is so high. One of the questions I had for you is, we know that here within Queensland, you are one of the top guys in terms of performance, right? I think there's arguments to be made about the ladder, but clearly you're someone who really delivers in the ring. We haven't seen you as much interstate. Is that something that you're looking to change? You're looking to get out further around Australia?
100%. With my work commitments and stuff like that, I really need to stay based. But obviously, even a couple of months ago, or a month ago, I was in Townsville. I know that's not interstate, but that was a big jump for me.
That's a big district.
I haven't done interstate for, 3-4 years nearly. So it's obviously a big aspiration for me to get back into that world. And I see all these guys that I've come up with at MCW, at PWA, and that's obviously places I want to be. But at the same time, I have my home here at UPW. I have places like PWL. I have places outside of here that I really just want to see thrive. So come 2026, 2027, I definitely want that to be a big part of me, just breaking out into that scene and really get my name back out there again. Because obviously I started doing this interstate just after I came back from America, and obviously COVID hit and that all went downhill. But obviously
you and everyone else?
100%. I'm still recovering from it. But obviously, 2026, 2027, that's my goal.
Awesome. EC Diamond, it's always a pleasure, mate. We'll have to see you next time here.
Hey Melbourne,
WrestleBrania
is back again in 2025.
WrestleBrania
For Sunday Slam.
WrestleBrania
At the Bergie Band Room, 4 epic Sundays over 4 months.
WrestleBrania
Let's get ready to Brania! Starting at 7:30 p.m, August 31st, September 28th, October 26th, November 23rd. Tickets $28.05, including booking fee through OzTix.
WrestleBrania.
A home of
Sports entertainment.
Every show will be different with new games, new guests, and maybe even a new host. Nothing is sacred, no one is safe, but it will be a fun and entertaining show. Or will it? Yes, it will. WrestleBrania Sunday Slam.
Hey everybody, it's Radar Superstar Adam Copeland. I got a bunch of handles. Anyway, call me what you want, but you are listening to WRA, Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome back to Making Chicken Salad, where we're going to talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. And what's going on, Jeff? I don't...
Just go about yourself.
Do your thing. All right, let's talk about WWE first, where according to PW Insider Elite, Jade Cargill only required stitches to close the cut above her eye that she got on SmackDown. Hopeful that she'll be cleared to return in just a few weeks. There are no signs that she's been pulled from WWE's schedule. Always good to see injuries be less bad than they look. So that's great news for Jade Cargill, unless we've got anything else to add to that.
Well, mate, it didn't look great when it happened.
It didn't look good. It looked like it could have been nasty, but it seems like it's just stitches and she's going to be okay. So that's the good news there. In other WWE news, the Americanos have full names now. On Monday's show, it was revealed that Los Americanos are going by the names Rayo Americano and Bravo Americano individually. So if your Spanish is not too hot, that is American Lightning and Great American. So good stuff there. I'm really enjoying the goofiness of Los Americanos.
They're
so close to getting
the other day that someone that pitched the other day that if they all lose their masks, they should just go back to being Imperium with Kaiser as the lead.
Imperium 2.0.
Yeah,
isn't it? Aren't Rayo and Bravo Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates?
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
They were never an Imperium.
No, but they could become Imperium.
Yeah.
I got a new name for a team: British Imperialism.
There we go.
All right, maybe not. The location for John Cena's final match has been announced. It's going to take place on Saturday, December 13th at Saturday night's main event at Monumental Sports and Entertainment's Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. This was officially announced by WWE and Paul Triple H Levesque on Tuesday. By the way, Alex Fireheart is asking if we will get a Bueno Americano.
They're all Bueno. They're all Bueno.
All Bueno.
Should they get like a mini? Should they get him a mini and just call him Poquito? Poquito Americano?
Oh, man. Todd, what do you think about Cena's final match being at Saturday night's main event officially?
Well, who do you think is going to be his last opponent? Like, who on the roster, or even off the roster at the moment now, could you see as being someone that he wants to work that last time? Even though he says, like, they put him in there and I knock him down and yada, yada, yada. Who do you really think that they will put him with for that very last shot?
There is no way he doesn't have input into who he's facing.
No, I know, 100%. Although I don't know if he so much wanted Brock, but,
Yeah.
I think he goes out on his back to Gunther. I think that Cena's going to be there to put over a younger guy, and I think Gunther is the name to get that rub.
Wow, that's interesting. It's December.
Yeah.
I suppose is Gunther due back anytime soon?
I
think he's due back before then, right? Like he's not off for any real reason.
He's got a 1-year-old. That's probably a reason to be a little, and remembering, like, whether you love or hate the current era, one thing Triple H has done really well is give people time off to spend time with children and go to other media commitments.
No, I was just more
like that.
interested to ask about what they're going to do for the run-in for it.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to do a run-in.
I mean, in an ideal world, and if he was healthy both mentally and physically, Kurt Angle would be who I'd put out there, but that's not realistic in 2025, I'm afraid.
For the same reason,
I'd also love to see.
For the same reasons, mine would be Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I don't. Owens will not be back in time. I have to imagine that.
No way. And it's before anyone says anything, it's not going to be Copeland. So just leave that out.
No, it won't be. It won't be Adam Copeland. It won't be Bryan Danielson / Daniel Bryan. I think. As he said in your interview, it doesn't hurt till it hurts, and then it hurts like hell. So I don't think WWE would clear him right now. I think you're right. It's either going to be Gunther or it's going to be someone coming up from NXT, like or someone like that.
Could be. My imagination is that if it is a younger guy that Cena loses to on Saturday night's main event, then you go in and have that person challenge Lesnar at WrestleMania, who's the other person who, the other guy who beat Cena on the WrestleMania tour. And I think Gunther Lesnar at WrestleMania makes sense. And that's difficult for Gunther, and that's the payoff for
You're underwater again, brother.
Oh, damn it. Talk.
I missed most.
What? How could I interest you in a Dominic Mysterio?
Oh yeah, Dom would be great
I
because
don't
he's
know,
now
like,
at the
I
point
don't know.
where not only the problem they're running now is Dom is getting such good cheers that you don't want Cena to be booed in his last match.
Yeah, although it's not something he hasn't dealt with over the journey.
You know who it should be, Nikki Bella. Like we haven't seen enough Nikki recently. Let's give Nikki the rub.
Well, look, okay. Speaking of people being given the rub, Ricky Saints has become the new NXT champion after toppling Obafemi at Saturday's No Mercy Premium Live event. He is a first-time NXT champion. Obafemi finally relinquishing that title. Do we see Oba called up imminently, Jeff? What do you think?
I think he's going to go away for a little bit and kind of cure some. He's probably banged up a bit. He kept a good pace as champion, and even though he's a bigger bloke, he's probably carrying a small niggle or two. And then I'd bring him out as a mystery for the
Rumble.
I just have
3
him
months
appear
off
at the
Rumble debut. Yeah, Todd, what do you think?
I find it so funny how the internet complained that he lost to like DDTs.
Yeah, DDTs that have been a finisher forever.
Yeah, I know. It made me laugh. I can't see him coming back to NXT for another run. So it's got to be like.
No.
Jesus, could you imagine?
Interestingly, I don't think he's in. No, he's not in the. He's not in the 5v5 match next week.
No, he's not at all.
There's your answer that he's probably not.
For the very last time, John Cena's last match, he does a John Cena Open challenge, and Obafemi comes out and just squashes the shit out of him.
That's what I said. I said Oba would be a great opponent.
You know what? And then you can do Oba Lesnar and have Oba beat Lesnar at Mania.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then Lesnar is never seen or heard from again.
Never seen again. That's the important bit.
Seen again.
I get it. Speaking of NXT, though, NXT TNA Showdown is going to be happening next weekend. That's on October 7th on the CW. So far set up for that show is an NXT North American title match with Ethan Page defending against Mustafa Ali, a title for title match where the NXT Tag Team Champions Dark State are going to take on the TNA Tag Team Champions, the Hardy Boys. Then there's going to be 2 Survivor Series matches, one for TNA versus NXT Men's with Team NXT, Ricky Starks, Trick Williams, Miles Bourne, and Javon Evans, taking on Team TNA, Mike Santana, Frankie Kazarian, Moose, and Leon Slater. And then for the women's, Team NXT will be JC Jane, Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, and Lola Vice, taking on Team TNA, The Inspiration, Mara Sade, and of course, the captain of Team TNA, Kalani Jordan.
Yeah, because TNA don't have a... Yeah. And I like Kalani Jordan. I'm a big fan of Kalani's. I think she's terrific.
Yes. Yeah.
But...
And, like, she is the Knockouts champion as well.
But, like, isn't that the whole problem?
Mate,
the TNA guys are supposed to be saying we don't want NXT people with our titles. We're trying to take them back. That's what this whole thing's about.
Yeah. And not to mention, like, everyone in that Team TNA for the Knockouts are either current or former NXT WWE, like, workers.
Yep.
Like, Mara Sade or Sade or whatever has literally just got released.
Like,
that's Jakara Jackson.
Just Yeah.
So, I mean, especially when, like, they've got a deep-ish, like, Knockouts roster. Well, they could have filled that out with other people quite easily.
Although you do love to see the Inspiration back in.
Love the Inspiration.
Oh, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I am surprised that somehow, like, Cardona didn't whittle his way in there somewhere.
Yeah.
He'll be there, bro. He'll be there.
But you've got to look that men's side Starks, Trick Williams, Miles Bourne, and Javon against Santana, Kazarian, Moose, and Slater. That's going to be a match. Like, give me 5 minutes of like Slater and Javon in the ring. Like them as a tag team on NXT was just like, put those two together as a tag team. Just put them together permanently as a tag team because they were fucking brilliant.
And look,
just quickly, sorry, Alex Fireheart mentioning, last time WWE did an Invasion storyline, they had Steve Austin join the WCW side, so not a huge shock. Yeah, Alex, and they clearly didn't learn from it because look how well the Invasion went that time.
Yeah, but you know what, though? The difference was the Invasion that time, they didn't have access to half of the people that used to be on their roster.
That's true. Everyone was at home getting their contracts paid out. Right? Whereas the whole TNA roster's there.
Yeah.
It is great also to see Frankie Kazarian back in WWE because he was in there for a couple of coffee way back when. And also Moose. It's wonderful to see Moose working on a bigger platform because I really like him as a wrestler.
I was thinking about this today and I was going to tweet it, but I thought, no, I don't want that. I don't want that hassle, right? Do you think that Mike Santana right now has spent more time on NXT than what he did in his last year of his AEW contract?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably. Yeah.
Absolutely. Lachlan, you're underwater again, man.
I was walking around work thinking about it going, yeah, because he had the match and then he also did this and he did that. And I don't remember when he was really in AEW for that last year of his contract.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
But yeah, it's great to see. I think it's great to see because Moose came out this week as well and said something like he thinks the WWE partnership with TNA has been more beneficial than their partnership with AEW because it feels like WWE respect us more than what AEW did. And then I was like, oh, that's not really all that fair. But then I looked at it and I thought about it. Like, how many Impact workers did you ever see on Dynamite? Or X Division talent or...
very true.
Like, anytime it was the Impact title was there because it was on fucking Kenny's shoulder.
Yep.
And, the Good Brothers were there, but even when they were there, they never wrestled. Really.
Mm-hmm.
They wrestled twice.
We'll really quickly touch on the fact that this show, NXT TNA Showdown, was formerly called NXT TNA Invasion, using the old Invasion logo that they used in the 90s. That's been a little bit worrisome considering this is happening on October 7th, which is the anniversary of, some unsavory stuff going on. So that show has been renamed.
You can say it. It's the anniversary of the commencement of the current skirmish in Israel and Palestine. There you go.
Yeah. So, it's understandable that you would not want to call a show Invasion on October 7th. I think that I can totally see the world where somebody went, yeah, we're doing the old Invasion storyline. We'll call the show Invasion. It's the first Saturday in October, put it on. So I don't necessarily think that I don't want to ascribe malice to it, but I think that they've made the right move by renaming the show Showdown.
Yeah, I don't think it's about it because, when you think about it, when the attack happened on September 11th, it was well known it was September 11th. It wasn't like the whole commencement of the thing is not called October 7th. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like I remember when you guys put it in our chat, I was like, please let me know what this is because I have no idea what it is. And I'm a dude that watches news fairly religiously.
I get that, but it's clearly triggering for both Jewish people and Arab people.
I get it.
Yeah. And the concern is they're doing shows in Riyadh all the time. So I think that there are some political things at play as well. But what a great show. It's going to be terrific. I'm
it's going to be excellent. And speaking of upcoming shows for WWE, we've got a few matches confirmed so far for Crown Jewel Perth, which is, of course, Saturday, October 11th, so just over a week away. So far locked in for that is the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes versus the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins for the 2025 Men's Crown Jewel Championship, as well as the WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton and the Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer for the 2025 Women's Crown Jewel Championship. We've also got one-on-one between John Cena and AJ Styles, and the team of the Kabuki Warriors taking on the team of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. So far, that's a pretty cracking card.
Yeah,
you'd have to imagine maybe something with like Roman and the Usos v like the Vision and somebody.
Yep.
Maybe.
It'll be interesting to see if Grayson Waller is there.
Yeah.
Or Roman Punk against the Vision, against the two of them.
The concern about doing something with the Vision is getting cheers for Bronson in Australia, right?
Possibly.
Mm.
Well,
So
I don't think
that's-
they're really worried about it because, like, they really let Grayson have a hero's welcome when he came out last time.
They did, and that's why they didn't put him in a match, right? Whereas, like, if you put him up against Penta in a match here, you get a weird response going on.
Yeah, Penta's going to be treated like Vikingo in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. So let's look over at the other side with AEW, where Andrade El Idolo has returned to AEW, joining the Don Callis family. We had some speculation about where Andrade would end up, and very quickly he's made his way over to AEW. So that's interesting.
I mean, I think I said to Welshie today, it's funny, he's jumped from where he was when he was getting fairly decently used in the tag team with
Phoenix.
Thank you, Ray Phoenix, to
Phoenix,
being the
right.
seventh most important person in the Don Callis family.
Yep, that's true. Any thoughts on that one, Jeff?
Look, I like Andrade a lot, but the problem is, as we enunciated a couple of weeks ago, you want him there till he is there, and then you're going, after a few weeks, you go, well, there's not much for him to do. And I think that the AEW roster is so packed that there's not going to be much for him to do.
And Macho Man Andy Savage mentioning in the chat that you didn't see Andrade's return if you were watching on ESPN through KO or Foxtel. His quote-unquote big return was wandering out after Kyle Fletcher's match. Speaking of, Kyle Fletcher on this Wednesday's Dynamite was originally scheduled to be wrestling Hologram, but Hologram was injured in a backstage attack, according to Tony Khan. He won't be back for some time, quote-unquote. After the attack by Fletcher that aired on AEW Collision, preceded by a video of Hologram's nemesis, El Clone, Khan has tweeted that Hologram, quote, has significant injuries and that he, quote, is out the rest of 2025. El Clone is officially part of the Don Callis family after his debut. Under the mask very clearly appears to be Arez, who has been a long-time opponent and rival of Aramis, who is Hologram. So those two are going to work very well together when they do have the match, because we've seen it before and it's good.
I wonder why you wouldn't just dump the whole El Clon idea and just have him come in as Arez. Like, look, this guy's going to be out for the next 4 months. Kind of kills the gimmick. Like,
Yeah.
It would be different to if they'd have had him, even if they hadn't even have mentioned that Hologram was injured. And then had Klon take his spot in a full bodysuit and wrestled for the next 4 months. And then out of nowhere, Hologram comes blasting out, rips the mask off, and he's got the black mask on underneath.
That'd be fun.
Like, I just don't know. Like,
It's no longer the Don.
Go on.
I was going to say it's no longer the Don Callis family. There's so many members. It's now the Don Callis wedding. It's huge.
Yeah,
there's too many people.
It's more of like Jonestown now. It's more Callistown. It's a whole community of people setting up.
The Don Callis commune.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, Alex Fireheart said, so a Sin Cara Blue, Sin Cara Black Star. Well, that's basically what they were going with.
Yeah.
Before.
That's what it is, except one's just not there now.
Yeah, it's like the bad guy turns up and the good guy's already fucked off. It's like, shit. I was coming here to get him. I'll wait around because he'll be here eventually.
If I hang here for 4 months.
Yeah, if I hang here for 4 months in the background with Don Callis.
But, that's what it is. Anyway, Saturday, October 18th is AEW Wrestle Dream. God, these shows come up so quickly, don't they? That's just over 2 weeks away. And so far, we've got 3 matches confirmed for Wrestle Dream. First off, an I Quit match with Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. And then 2 World Championship.
Didn't they just do a coffin match, which is probably more extreme than an I Quit match?
Yeah.
And so they're pairing it back, and eventually they'll just be thumb wrestling in the middle of the fucking ring. What's going on?
I kind of already said that last week.
Last week, Todd mentioned that this feud is progressing towards a pure rules match for the blow-off.
Yeah, well said, Todd.
So it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin in an I Quit match. And then World Championships on the line. AEW Women's World Champion Chris Statlander defending against former champion Tony Storm. And AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page defending against Samoa Joe, which I think will be a killer main event.
I'm kind of shocked that they're doing Tony. I'm kind of shocked they're doing Tony straight up. I thought she was just going to go for a while.
Yeah, you might think. Jeff?
And also, you do Tony. Tony massively popular. Why are you trying to put her in there with Chris, who's also massively popular?
I mean, unless this is locking in the Chris heel turn.
But why wouldn't you have done it when they offered it to you back 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. It's for the
you know what I mean? It's just
I stopped trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, and also Hangman and Samoa Joe, awesome. Again, 2 baby faces. There's no real heat between them. There's no real, except for you never beat me for the title. That's the impetus for going into the match. Surely they could have cooked up an actual challenger for Hangman for Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, there'll be another 48 matches added to the card, so we've got that to look forward to, including on the day of. I like all the participants, but in the 3 matches announced so far, but I don't really want to see an I Quit match between Moxley and Darby Allin because I think there'll be some gross shit going down. I couldn't agree with you more, Todd. The other 2 matches are just babyface versus babyface, which is, fine, but not really. I'd rather have a definite face and a definite heel. And they're going to back themselves into a corner.
Surely there's somebody on that fucking roster that they can put in there with Hangman that is a credible challenger and a bad guy.
But
I don't know.
They could hate Ricochet.
Devil's advocate here. You're not booking the wrestlers because this one's a good guy and this one's a bad guy. You're booking the wrestlers based on who deserves a title shot, right? And Samoa Joe is a guy who consistently wins matches, so he should have a shot at the title regardless of whether he and Hangman have any bad blood. That's the devil's advocate there. I agree that I would rather it be heel versus face, but
see, the thing about wrestling is you conveniently work it out that the heel is always the one who is the logical challenger. Or the babyface is the one who is the logical challenger when there is an opposite champion.
Yes, but Todd,
yes.
AEW is now 6 years old, right? We're now looking at a company that is 6 years old. How much logic have they actually had in the last 6 years? I mean,
that's a really good point.
Especially the last 3 years, it's not a highly logical company. If it was, it would stop Moxley from visibly trying to make people vomit every week.
Yeah, look, I know it is basically a dream match fed, which is cool, but I just want some feeling in some of the stuff.
It's Tony's TEW save come to life, and that's what it's always going to be.
Yeah, but yeah, don't get me wrong.
I like that, Lachlan.
It's going to be a great match. Paige and Joe. Joe's amazing. So it's going to be a great match. But it's just...
Especially considering his age.
Yeah, I just want that extra something. little bit of spice, a little bit of like, you know what I mean? There are 1,000 people in the Don Callis family. Sure, you could have heated somebody up that wasn't bloody Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about Kyle Fletcher being constantly at the top of the card, though, right? Like, dude's doing amazing work.
You can't have him meeting L's every pay-per-view either.
Yeah, that's right. Because, eventually he just starts to look shit. And speaking of shit, we're going to talk about our chicken shit and then take it into talking about our chicken salad, because that's what we do here at Making Chicken Salad every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/WrestleRadio Australia. Jeff, do you want to kick us off with some chicken shit?
Yeah, I do. I got two. Firstly, if you generate an image that is from fucking AI and you put it up as news, stop doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like, really. The other day I saw Randy Orton and Dave Bautista bumped into each other in an airport and they both took selfies, and there's this obviously AI image. Just stop. Really. Just stop.
The clickbait.
It's just getting to the point of ridiculousness. The other one is not yet a chicken shit. It's a chicken fart, because I'm getting the shit warning. It's a shit warning.
Mm-hmm.
Next weekend,
it's a chicken rumble in the belly.
Yeah, it's a chicken. It's a chicken. Oh, I ate too much chili last night.
Yeah.
WWE are in Perth again next week, which is fantastic. And don't be like the French. Don't stalk Rhea Ripley when she's walking from a shop to her car. Don't be waiting at the airport for these people. There are meet and greets on purpose. There's things you can sign up for. You can go to events. You can go to signings. Do it the right way. And don't hassle people if you see them walking down the street. Like, I don't know if Seth and Becky are bringing Rue over, but if you do and you take out your camera to take a photo of Rue, you're a bit of a dick. Like, just behave yourself, please. Last year, everyone was so wonderful. It was something that I know was fed back. Like, AJ Styles was around for the week going to the zoo and trying to keep incognito, and people respected that. So please do the right thing by them and remember they're human beings and not just people there for your amusement. Thank you. My rumble has now abated.
Todd, have you got any chicken shit for us?
My chicken shit was something we talked about before, was like just the knockouts version Team TNA being basically like NXT workers or former NXT workers in it. Like,
that's fair.
Every other match on this card have what you would call legitimate. Like I know Mustafa Ali is technically a former WWE worker, but fairly been entrenched in TNA for a fair while now. Like the Hardys, the tag team champions, but they don't go here when it comes to like WWE. It's been a fair while since they've been there. All of the TNA side for the men's are fairly entrenched TNA workers. Like Kazarian, well entrenched. Like Santana is going to be their next world champion. Moose is TNA like till he dies. Do you know what I mean? Like they are. Yeah, it's just that especially Mara Saad was literally a month ago. I think
she was there like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, I wish they could have done better with that. I understand maybe they had plans with like the By Elegance crew and it didn't work out, or like you've got Rosemary. True. You could have brought Rosemary in. Like there are definite like TNA women that could have really done well in that spot. But yeah, so that's my shit for the week. I just think they could have done better with that.
Yeah. Alex Fireheart, for lack of anything else, his chicken shit is the Art for Wrestle Dream being AI, which just sucks. And Macho Man Andy Savage's shit is relying on KO Sports for AEW 3 weeks in and it's already untenable.
Can we just remember
back to Triller?
Yeah. Alex has got a point. They're quite right. Again, it's more AI. We don't need it. Like AEW have heaps of money. Throw a couple of $1,000 at a good graphic designer, and you'll get something amazing.
Yeah. Macho Man Andy Savage asking about WWE. Do they lose the moral high ground when they charge $300 for a Rhea Ripley meet and greet?
No, because it's not Rhea charging it.
That's not Rhea. There's a difference between a human being and a corporation. I'm just saying, be respectful.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Also, apparently you can have like up to 4 people in those photos. Just split the cost.
I also think part of the thing about it being a $300 meet and greet is there's only so much time in Rhea Ripley's day, and plenty of people are going to pay $300 for a meet and greet, right? As much as it sucks to say you're pricing people out, part of the economy of these things is you set a price that keeps the demand small enough that you can match it with your supply. I think that's why those meet and greets are that cost.
Yeah, and they are structured meet and greet prices. Not like everyone is $300. Like there are other people that are cheaper.
Yeah, Rhea's like the most expensive one.
Fucking yeah, because she's the hottest commodity in WWE at the moment. So of course they're going to charge.
She's arguably the hottest commodity in pro wrestling.
Like, is John Cena doing them? I don't think John Cena's doing them, but I
don't think John's doing
more.
Cena's doing
them? Do you know how much offhand they were?
I think they're very expensive. Let me just look, but I'm pretty sure Cena meet, and I might be wrong. Great Perth.
I'll quickly jump in. Go on, Jeff.
Andy's now saying my point was it's tough to ask people to back off and go to the meet and greets when they charge those prices. Families can't afford. I'm saying don't bother these people when they're out in public. If you can't afford a meet and greet, find another way. But it's about being polite to people, Andy. It's about not being surrounding these people. Give them space, give them time. Remember also for Rhea, this is a trip where she's pretty much home.
And like, obviously it would be great to meet those people, but at the same time, like it's a luxury thing, right? Not everyone has to meet Rhea Ripley, right? She's a person, she's got a life, she's making herself available for meet and greets. I'm sure that there's opportunities where, you know, if she's out and about, there's a version of it that's polite, which is you wave and say, hi, I'm a big fan, and then you keep moving along, right?
Yeah.
Like, but that's not something that everybody is just entitled to because they're a fan of Rhea Ripley. But, you know, and Macho Man Andy Savage says, I take the point and I agree to a large extent. I just don't think TKO/WWE is backing up the wrestlers' attempts to be left alone outside of official events. I agree, but that is not then justification for it, right?
I'm pretty sure that Rhea's got security now.
Yeah. There was photos of her at Universal Studios with the security sitting in the seats behind her at the ride at Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah. Like, there's security with her all the time, it seems. I'll quickly touch on...
Especially because people have been showing up to a lot of people's houses just randomly this year. People started finding out addresses, and all I'm saying is don't stalk them at the hotel. Don't be those guys. If you see them out at a bar, and you know, then fine.
Yeah, and Alex Fireheart's nail on the head. Honestly, I saw the wrestlers walking about on a World Series Wrestling 2 years ago and just let them be, mostly because of social anxiety, but also just not wanting to bother them. That's right, they're people. And like at World Series Wrestling, you can go and say hi to them and get the meet and greet tickets there, and they're not super expensive, and they're selling merch after the event. You know, buy some merch and get a handshake.
He's go out and say hi to him. He's the nicest bloke.
Lovely dude. Building off that, one of my chicken shits, and this isn't a big chicken shit, it's just a little one, is that World Series Wrestling won't be hitting Brisbane on the next tour. That sucks because I love those World Series Wrestling tours. So if you're in Adelaide or Melbourne or New South Wales near Penrith, you know, get amongst it because it's an awesome show that I'm just disappointed to not see. And then the other chicken shit I'm going to say is that whenever anything goes wrong in the women's division, according to Twitter, it's entirely Nia Jax's fault and she's the worst wrestler ever to live. And she should be killed for her crimes, apparently.
Clip that.
Like, I am not the biggest fan of Nia Jax. but this is a point that I tried making the other day, which is she is a world-class performer, right? To wrestle the amount of matches that she does in front of the audiences that she does, and more often than not, come out with a reasonably good match is incredible, right? The number of people on Earth who can do that is minuscule. It's tiny. I'm not saying that she's the best wrestler in the world. I'm not saying that she's, in the top 60% of the roster. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that everybody who is on the main roster in WWE is there for a reason, right? And when you see a botch that is her laying down to get the 3 counted on her and the referee not making a 3 count, that's not Nia Jax botching. That's not, Nia Jax strikes again, injuring people. Like, what? Just be normal. Be normal. Anyway.
Lachlan. How many normal wrestling fans have you ever met?
Yeah, there's none. All right, let's get positive. Let's move on to our chicken salad. We might run it in reverse order, and I'll do mine first. I love seeing. I've got 2. My little one is I love seeing Mustafa Ali getting in big TV programs. So him doing the Ethan Page program on NXT is going to be really fun. But my bigger one is the upcoming AEW DC comic book crossover that got announced, which I'm really pumped about. Yeah, were you going to mention it, Jeff, or did you just see it and go, "This is so"?
I just knew you would.
Yeah. So it looks like they're going full ridiculous with it, right? Like the little pitch they've put out is saying it's going to include Hangman, Omega, Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy, Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné, and Willow Nightingale. And it's also going to include Aquaman, Batman, Nightwing, Guy Gardner, Jon Stewart, Hawkgirl, Zatanna, Wonder Woman, and Harley Quinn, which anytime Nightwing's involved, I'm happy. Apparently, quote, together they must recover the big galactic belt and prevent a cosmic catastrophe in the universe. So this has got...
Tony Khan just wants another belt. Jesus Christ.
This has got silly nonsense written all over it.
It's going to wind up in a tournament in the comic.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a tourney. Well, DC's already got a big tourney going on anyway. But yeah, I think this is going to be really silly. Steve Orlando's writing it, who I think is someone that I enjoy the work of. I don't like Midnighter as a character. Yeah, thanks, Todd. I don't like Midnighter as a character, but I thought his work on Midnight and Apollo was really good. I also know that he's written like weird crossover stuff before, because he did 0 through 12, a comic series that was about the bullies from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Bulk and Skull. He did 13 issues of Bulk and Skull comics, so he knows what he's doing, adapting a silly license. I think this is going to be a delight. I'm glad to see AEW getting in the ridiculous stuff there. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So that's my chicken salad. Todd, have you got some chicken salad for us this week?
I don't know if you guys saw it, but Raw this week with Dominic and Miro.
That's a good match.
Yes,
love that. Just the fact that he tried to do the Eddie thing and fucked it up completely, but then still got away with it by doing something else Eddie-ish.
Yeah.
I just love it. It popped me huge. And I'm just like, this kid, if you'd have seen him 2-3 years ago, there's no way you would have thought that this is what this guy would have been doing in 2 or 3 years.
No.
So I absolutely loved it. I loved it. And I guess the other one was, aside from the obvious one, which like is happening, like we're putting up on Monday.
Don't. That's mine.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Doing the UPW show on the weekend, this past weekend, where was, and I'm not big noting it, but like Mitch and I quite used to just doing main event type matches now, like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. This is what you do to plan out your 15, 20 minute match. And so to have a 10-minute open was, honestly, it was it was. I'm guessing the word I could say was reinvigorating, because we had to use muscles that we haven't used for a long time, and we got to do it. And like, I don't want to toot our own horns, but I think we did okay at that, because it felt like it was really good out there. So the fact that we could get like "you suck" chants on the way out after we'd been beaten thoroughly by the good guy, and still have them baying for our blood, is just like, I went to the back and I looked at Mitch and went, "That's fucking wrestling."
I'll also mention quickly, like, that match was great. That show was a delight. But interviewing EC Diamond afterwards was so cool, because EC Diamond's such a great guy and a great wrestler. Him mentioning that he is hoping to get out and about away from Brisbane a little bit more for some shows. If you haven't had the chance to see EC Diamond, watch out, because that kid is a gun. He is up there with Mitch Ryder for in-ring quality in Queensland. Yeah. So, you know. Also,
big shout out to my boy Mitch, who's just headed off to Japan for the next couple of weeks. So
he's going to be doing some huge stuff over there.
Yeah. Some good shows lined up for him. So, yeah, very excited for him, very happy for him, very proud of him.
What a dude. Great wrestler, great dude. Only good things to say. Sorry, Jeff, you also have some chicken salad. What's yours, mate?
Yes, I do, and proving the fact that we should all listen to Todd. I spent an hour and a half this morning in the company of Todd, because Lachlan, Jamie and I were lucky enough to have the Dave Storm interview put in our private group chat. It's a wonderful interview, and I'm not just saying that. A lot of care and a lot of effort and a lot of tribute to Dave went into this. And I was really, really impressed, Todd. It's such a beautiful interview, and you've every right to be as proud as you clearly will be. I felt that the wonderful thing about Dave is Dave will talk to you for as long as you want to talk to Dave. We've all experienced this. We experienced this at the 10-hour live stream we did a couple of years back for our 10th or 11th birthday. Never again. Dave is.
I keep telling you.
but oh, no. We've still got to do a 500-minute one, though. That's only 8 hours. But Dave will talk to you for as long as you want. Go back and listen to the archives of what Dave's spoken about. The other thing about, and I'll talk more about Dave in subsequent weeks, but I thought this was a wonderful interview, and I would encourage everyone, including younger wrestlers, because sometimes when you're a younger wrestler, you need a little bit of a wake-up call. You need to remember why you do this, and Dave is there in spades to remind you why you do it. So, yeah, it was an absolute chicken salad. I so enjoyed it. I just didn't want you to steal it from me, mate.
No, I wasn't going to.
I was saying to Todd before the show that I purposely haven't watched it yet because, you know, we all love David Storm so much. That's going to be a real special thing for me to watch. So I'm going to try and watch it with everybody else. It's going to be a real.
And Lachlan, you saw how just on the other side of my world, you saw how up for anything Dave was.
Oh yeah,
at Brania. Absolutely anything. If we just said, hey, you're going to take a beating from Robbie again, he'd go, yeah, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, he's such a dude. So make sure you do catch that on Monday at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on the Wrestle Radio Australia feed. The best way to do that is to subscribe to Wrestle Radio Australia. It's free. You can do it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, anywhere you get your podcasts. Subscribe, and if you're on Apple Podcasts, giving us a 5-star review is really helpful. It helps us to get into more ears around the country. Make sure you subscribe here on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia, where we go live every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time to talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. You can also get some merch going over to Redbubble. Search for Wrestle Radio Australia. You can find the merch there. The proceeds don't go to us. They go to Beyond Blue and Gotcha for Life, which are two charities that support mental health here in Australia. That's really important. And if you're in the merch buying mood, head to kickout.com.au to find merch of your favorite wrestlers from Queensland and around the country. If you're a wrestler and you'd like your merch to be up on Kickout, message the Kickout Instagram page. And once again, get that merch at kickout.com.au. You can also follow us on social media. We're at Wrestle Radio AU on Twitter and Instagram. We're Wrestle Radio Australia on Facebook. You can follow Todd at Beast Eastman. You can follow me at Lachlan Albert. You can follow Jeff at Wrestle_Brania. Jeff, tell us about WrestleBrania, mate.
we have 2 more shows this year. We are hitting the stage of the Bergie Band Room on the 26th of this month. We'll be announcing talent very, very, very soon, as well as announcing our Melbourne Comedy Festival dates. They have started to line up. We've got our venue. Thanks to our friends at the Bergie, we will be back there in Brunswick. And we cannot wait to do this all with you guys in the room. And hopefully Welch's leg will be better by March, because that's when our first show is. And if you know, we always put that extra care into the comedy festival stuff. So, we'll be telling you more soon about that.
Awesome. While we're pushing the stuff that we do outside of Wrestle Radio Australia, obviously go follow Jamie Apps and all of his stuff. Follow what he's doing at The Hive with The Buzz. Follow Paria Magazine. Follow Oz Wrestling Cards, because there's a very special appearance of Jeff there off to the side. Very fun stuff.
I thought it was a bag of something else for a second. What the hell are you doing?
Todd, Jeff, is there anything else that we've got to mention?
Is the PWA show live this weekend? I think it might be.
Yeah, on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, I think it's live on YouTube, so you might want to check that out, friends.
Live and free on YouTube? My goodness. Yeah, that's
show, isn't it?
That's Mounties number 9 Finals Fever, which is going to be on Saturday, October 4th. That is not PWA at the Viral Food Festival on the Gold Coast, which is also on all weekend long, and I'm going to be there on the Friday and the Saturday.
Is Bonza at the thing? Because he could be there to recruit you.
I believe Bonza is going to be at Finals Fever. He's not going to be up here. Let me just check through what I've got written down. Yeah, no Bonza by the looks of things. So
he checked his Ranger registry. No, he's not due in here.
my Ranger tracker app. Yeah.
RTA.
Thanks, Todd. Anything else that we've got to mention?
No, just again, I know we talked about it a heap tonight, but please do check out the Stormy interview. Guys listening to it on the podcast, you can watch it, you can listen to it on the podcast. I probably urge you more to watching the YouTube version of it, because it is very much like a multimedia sort of
extravaganza.
We'll put it this way. I don't know if I talked about it at the start of the show, but I've taken photos from all parts of his career and put them up during the show, and then asked him to talk about this part of his career, or this what did this photo mean, or who's in this photo and why, like that. And we've also got little cameos from people who wanted to pop in and say thank you to Stormy, and it really was there were parts there where I know he was struggling to keep in the emotions.
I think there were a couple of photos and one of those video tributes that really got to him.
Yeah, which honestly, what wasn't the aim? Kind of the aim, but wasn't the aim. I just love making him feel loved. Do you know what I mean? Because of how important he is.
He also will be the first person to tell you, and I've known Dave. He was one of the first people I saw in wrestling and got chatting pretty soon. He'll be one of the first to tell you that he's not special. And that's what makes him special, is his absolute humility.
Yeah, it was funny. We finished recording the episode, and he's like, I was looking up and I realized it had been an hour, and I'm like, how do we talk for so long all the time? I just realized we just get started. Next thing you know, I look up and we're an hour into this thing.
All right. Yeah.
So
for me, he's one of those guys you could talk to forever.
Yeah, I really had to keep a conscious look of the time too, because I was trying to space out those tribute videos, just so it was sort of middle, like start, middle, end, like telling a story, like a story of an interview, because really is what it was. Because I don't, and again, Lachlan knows, I don't go into any interview with notes or anything like that. I usually just go in and go, we're going to have a chat, and what happens, happens.
Yeah, I remember that.
With this one...
I remember that from my interview with you, almost 3 years ago now, I think? 3
Yeah,
4
you were like, oh, so what are we going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know, we'll just have a chat, and is there anything you want to get across? If there is, I'll try and weave it in where we can, and But aside from that, like, because I always think that you get the best interviews that way, because it's more of a conversation. But with Stormy, I just wanted it to be, I wanted it to be fitting of the man of who he is. I wanted to pay tribute to, like, the time he's put into the industry and what he's done for the industry. And, like, if you listen to any of those tributes during the show, and the beauty of it is, if you look at all of these people, and I'm not going to mention who's in it.
No.
All of those people come from different parts of the country.
Yes.
So, and I did that, like intentionally, just to show, like, he's not just like Godfather of Perth wrestling. He is, his tentacles spread the whole way through Australian wrestling.
And there's like, back at EPW last year, I'm standing by the door getting ready to exit Flyer People Brainia the next day. And Robbie comes up to me and he puts his arm around me. And I'm like, hey, Rob. He's like, hey, mate, you ready for tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, we'll have some fun. And we have a quick chat. He goes, oh, shit, I've got to go. I've got to kick the shit out of Dave Storm. And then he has this wistful kind of look on his face for a second, you know, because I think Dave probably started telling people a fair while ago.
Well,
that, you know,
he'd already had. Remember, he told us that he hasn't got long left.
Yeah. He'd already said that he didn't have a lot left.
Yeah.
So absolutely make sure you're checking out the interview that Todd did with the Godfather, Davis Storm, coming up on Monday at 7:30 p.m. Thank you very much, Davis Storm. And thank you for joining us here for Making Chicken Salad at Wrestle Radio Australia on behalf of Todd Eastman and
Just one more thing. Sorry, Lachlan. Make sure you get tickets for MCW, Clash of the Titans. Make sure that if there are any left for EPW, you get those. Make sure you go and see some local wrestling this weekend. There's so much going on. It's fantastic.
Yes. Also, this is your last week, so subscribe, like this video, comment who your favorite MCW wrestler is, and you'll be in the draw for those tickets too that are drawn next week.
Excellent. Well, on behalf of Jeff Setti and Todd Eastman, I've been Lachlan Albert. Till next time, have a good one.
Peace.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it.